Welcome back to another episode of the Say It How It Is podcast. I'm joined today by Cara Sarden and Ellie Hardy. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, thanks for having us.
They've come in with the literally most infectious energy since coming in, and I keep saying, stop asking questions, wait for the episode to go. How are you both? Obviously you are really close friends.
Yeah. Met through Instagram actually.
No way.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Obviously, today's episode around what you both do for work now, bougie content creators. I was saying, what do you want your title to be?
Social media sensation. Obviously.
Social media sensation. Yes, queen. I love that.
Absolutely not, but I'll take it. Yeah, let's go.
So, do you think then the social that is like if you weren't doing social media, you wouldn't have met each other?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Our path would literally never have crossed.
Oh, that's nice.
At all. Like, I wouldn't even have run into you, I don't think.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that quite nice then to have that support from each other? If you kind of understand each other's lifestyles.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think the fact, like, so we're both sort of like stay-at-home mums that do social media. So it's also nice, like, because it's hard, like being home with the kids all day, like it's really, really hard. So even just having somebody who, because you can have friends, but whether or not they're off the same time as you, especially in the day, is really hard. So when you've got a baby, if no one's on maternity, who you calling? Like, do you know what I mean?
Mum!
Yeah, literally. So like to have Els is just lovely because it's like on a Monday, like I know that there's a chance she'll be free, like because she's home with the kids. So if our schedules align with just like, I don't know, whatever's in the calendar, then it's just nice.
So you said you're both stay-at-home mums. How many children do you both have?
I got 2 girls.
And I've got 3 boys.
Whoa, what a difference!
Yeah,
oh my gosh. How old are they?
So Piper is 6.5 and Noah's just turned 2.
Oh,
and then I've got Sol, Saint and Roman who are 4, 2 and 4 months.
She got a handful.
Whoa, girl. How do you balance that? That must be crazy.
Yeah, do you know what? if you don't think about it and you just carry on, like it's literally fine. If you stop and think about it too much, then you'll be like, okay, wow, this is a lot, but you just gotta take it minute by minute, day by day and hope for the best.
My best friend just had a baby now. He's 4 months. And I literally said to her this week, I was like, I'm trying to tell myself that I haven't done anything wrong because I don't hear from you much. But then I remind myself, you've got a child now. So to think like you have like 2 and 3, fuck.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about like having a friend who's kind of in the same thing is like, I will not speak like to Ellie or vice versa or even not reply for like days, sometimes weeks, and it's like it's actually fine because I just know she's busy and she just knows that I'm busy, and when we catch up is great. Like, there's no 100%. Pressure. Like, you know,
I find that's interesting. For friends, then, if you have friends that haven't got children, do you find that either they may not understand? Because for me now, with like I said, like my best friend having a baby, I'm thinking, how can I best support you with the fact that you've had a child, and obviously your life is changing with motherhood, and then trying to navigate your life through that. And I think to myself, obviously it must be difficult then if you're the only mum that in your friendship group, for example, that has children and other people don't. Have you found that that's been quite difficult to navigate? If you know what I mean?
1000%. So with Piper, I was, pregnant at 21, literally after 6 months of being in a relationship. So it was the craziest start to our little family life. But at the time, I still do, I have 2 very close best friends of mine that we literally lived in London together, and we've been best friends for years. They don't have children up until recently. One of them has been pregnant, and she, funnily enough, actually sent me a message the other day like, I am so sorry that I wasn't there for you when you were pregnant, because now I'm going through it. I know how much I need my friends and my support system around me. But back then, like, you just don't understand like the whole journey and what you go through and how sometimes isolating it can be. It's tough. Like, and she actually sent that the other day, and I was like, oh, bless you. Like,
and I do, and that's, I think, what being on the other side is quite interesting, because I worry that she's going to, I don't want her to feel isolated, and I'm worried, like, how can I best support you? And then she's like, right, calm down, I'm fine, I'll let you know if you need you. And I'm like, I haven't spoken to her in like a week. Is she alive? I'm like,
she's probably not.
Yeah, literally.
But it's like, just call in. Like, that's what I used to say all the time. Like, I unfortunately am not friends with anybody, like, from pre-baby me, like, at all. Mainly because, like, I think your life literally changes in a million different ways. Even little things like going out for a coffee with somebody who does not have children, you just feel like on edge, because you're just like, there's hardly any conversation, because you're sort of like talking, and then you're like, hang on a minute, someone needs the toilet. Hang on a minute, I've got to change bum. Hang on a minute, snack. They're getting bored of Miss Rachel. Okay, what is next? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even like with mums, they get it, and
Yeah.
it's like you'll jump in and you'll help each other out and be like, yeah, I ordered coffee the other day and you watched Roma, and it's like great. For people who don't have kids, as a mum, I just feel like bad. Like, do you know what I mean? To be able to say like, could you like just watch him a minute? You know what I mean? It's like, well, this is not your life. Like, you have not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just different, I think, as well.
And I suppose the right people will be like, yeah,
100.
But then
yeah.
I think if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then I suppose that's kind of like a flag for you to be like, okay, maybe you shouldn't kind of be in my circle at this time of my life.
And like I said, just calling in, because I think when someone's at home with the kids, it's such a much better environment, like, because the kids are comfortable, they've got all their toys, all their things. So for me, I was like, can you just come to me, because it's so much easier. My nappies are here, the clothes are here, he can nap upstairs and I can actually speak to you. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's a normal human
Takes the
being.
pressure off. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
How do you feel like your life has changed then becoming a mum? Because like, what were you both doing pre-babies? Oh my gosh. Because Ellie, you said you were living in London, right?
Oh gosh.
Pre being Kira.
We were both like children having children. Like, I was 21, you were
both 21.
21.
I was
22.
22 giving birth.
I was
yeah.
22 giving birth to, but I fell pregnant at 21. So I was mid like house renovation.
Was yours planned, sorry?
No. And so it was just like, so we got married, okay. So I got married young as well. I was only 21 when I got married, and we just bought a house and we were going to like renovate it. The plan was to renovate it, take the money. We would maybe buy a house like in Wales just to stay home. But we wanted to like travel, like
Live
not
a bit,
crazy.
like,
But we both had jobs where we could work remote. So I wanted to like do 6 months in like Copenhagen and 6 months in Zurich, like go and live like in cities where our friends are and just live a little. Like I wanted to start having kids at 27. So for me,
that was your plan.
That was my plan.
5 year plan.
And now I'm 27 with 3. So plan A kind of went a bit tits up, but we're here. And so like for me, it changed like massively, because it wasn't planned. So it was just like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like we're doing this. So we had to renovate the house to then live in it rather than sell it. And it was like, we were both kind of really early on, like started our businesses.
Yeah.
So financially, we were not in a place to be paying for daycare or anything.
Which
like,
I've heard is very goddamn expensive.
Yeah, crazy.
a joke. Yeah.
Shit.
So it was just like one of those things where I was like, okay, like we've just got to give our best. And it was really hard, but I'm actually really proud of us. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've still managed to keep all the plates spinning.
How long were you together? How long have you been together till now?
8 years?
Oh
7
wow,
years?
nice. So you were like, you were like growing up together
awesome.
as and how you were growing up as kids becoming adults pretty much.
Yeah, we've literally grown up together with our kids as well, is what we say. Like, we've all just...
That's nice. That must be
Yeah.
lovely energy. And how old are you when you got with Kieran?
We were 21.
Oh yeah, you
But
did
it
say,
was
yeah.
all very sudden.
But then now you look back on that and you think, well, you wouldn't change a thing, right?
Yeah, literally, like, it was all so quick. And he literally moved into my parents' house in Jersey. He was playing for Jersey Rugby at the time. It was literally like moved in within 2 weeks of meeting, and like it was full steam ahead. Obviously, Piper was a surprise. That was 6 months in. Looking back, like, at that age, you think you're so grown up, but we were just like, like we've got a baby on the way, it's gonna be fine. Everyone from the outside must have been thinking, oh gosh, like literally 6 months in, oh, let's see if this lasts, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then everything just happened so fast. So he signed back to the Scarlets. We decided to move back. Me for the first time moved to Wales. Him moved back home. And then bought our first house and. It went from there, really.
How has it been living in Wales?
It was, do you know what?
Did you move were you living in London when you met, or were you back in Jersey?
Living in London. So I've never really been in Jersey for longer than a few months at a time since I was 13.
Oh, okay.
So my family lived there, but I went to boarding school in Somerset from 13 years old. From boarding school at 18, I then went to London. Didn't last long in London then because I lived on my own, was really isolated.
I can imagine.
Struggled with a bit of anxiety. Then decided to go on a ski season in Switzerland.
Cool.
Got my instructor's license.
That's
so
cool.
Just get away for a bit. My best friend was going at the time, so I just went with her. Just was struggling in London. Got away, did a season, went back to London.
Yeah.
This time living with friends, so completely different experience. I wasn't on my own, wasn't isolated. And then came across Kieran. one Sunday morning when I was very hungover in bed with my best friend, going through heartbreak at the time. I thought, oh, he's nice.
He could fix my heartbreak.
Yeah. And then it just turns out literally like 2 weeks after first seeing her on Instagram and speaking, I flew home to visit family. He was there, went on a date.
And the rest is history.
Ended staying a week, lying to work. Oh, I'm ill, I can't come back. And and then literally, so moving to Wales from London, especially to crosshands in that area, was... Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, but now I love it.
Yeah, but I think the busy like London life to then coming down to like a small little village like that is, it must be a big culture.
It was a shock.
You both kind of mentioned about like isolation. How, and then you obviously mentioned that with like living in London on your own. How has that been since then becoming a mum? Like, has that been something that's been difficult for you to kind of navigate through?
I would say it's one of the factors that, especially in the early days, and I think especially back then as well, like specifically because I literally I was on my own. So I was literally a new mother, my family all in Jersey, Kieran's family all work full time, and I didn't know anyone at the time. So it was literally, like you said about growing up with your children, I literally, like, it was just me and Piper, and it was us two all day, every day, and we would literally wait for the second that Kieran got home, and then we'd go and do something as a family, like go to that Costa and we would walk up the road. But yeah, isolation is a thing.
Yeah, I know for sure. And I think it's finding your people, because just because you have kids doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be best friends like straight away. Like, you've still got to find people with like the same energy. And I don't know if it's harder for me or different for me. You know, I don't know, Ali, if you felt the same being young. Like, I literally felt like a child having a child. Like, and you know, everyone's like, oh, baby groups and things like that. I was also had Sol in 2020, which was obviously like COVID. So I didn't even kind of have the option of a baby group. But even if I did want to go, all I was like telling myself was like, everyone here is going to be like in their 30s, established, like ready for kids. And then there's me. And I just felt like, how am I going to relate to anybody? Like, I'm probably not. Like, you know, I don't know. I always just felt like I would stick out. Do you know what I mean? So I think I probably, you know, and that probably wasn't true. Like, I might have gone there and made loads of friends. I don't know. But that was what I was sort of telling myself, was like, well, it's just, me and Sol. Like, so we were the same, like, spent every day with Sol. I think my mum was so fed up with me because I would literally be like, hey, mum, like, what are you doing?
You know, that's so funny. Comes to the point your mum, your parents are like, right,
literally.
Can you leave me alone?
Yeah.
Why? It's meant to be the other way around.
I know. But it was because it was like, I just couldn't find my people. And that's kind of where like my Instagram, like my social media journey came, was I was just on my own. So all I had was like to just post about what we were doing and make videos and things like that with me and like Sol and document my journey. And obviously it paid off, because then, you know, you kind of find your like-minded people then. People like Ellie, we've got other friends as well that are in the area, but some people that I just speak to that I might never meet. But it's just like, I don't know, it's just opened that door for me to actually just have like conversations with people who are like me. Do you know what I mean?
A community of people.
Yeah, that was going to be my question around like, is that one thing that you found comfort then with social media? If you both kind of felt like Ellie, then you move into Wales not really knowing anyone, and then also yourself with feeling a bit isolated as well with having children, with you found kind of comfort in meeting people through social media to then, like you said, finding your people and finding like-minded people that would understand a bit more.
Yeah and like obviously I think I can't remember when I started following Ellie, but obviously I was very aware that she was local to me. I knew that she was around the same age as me, because I think we're both very much oversharers on Instagram.
Welcome to the club.
Literally, like, I'm pretty sure if anyone met me that has followed me could probably tell me what I had for breakfast yesterday. Like, do you know, like, this is where we're at. And so I think I kind of knew that like I would probably get on with Ellie, because she loves like fashion and she like loves her home and things like that. And so like you kind of find people, whether they live close to you. I mean, thank God that, you know, Ellie does, and this has become a nice friendship. But there's other people that like, you know, they don't even live near me, but it's just like I can talk to them, or,
like,
you know, like
voice notes and everything.
Voice notes, like and
you probably will never meet some of these people, but you feel like you know them so well. Going through the same kind of thing.
Had you both always enjoyed social media, or is it something you'd always invested time in, or was it, in like your instance, Karis, did you start investing more time in social media since you were having children to kind of share that story, or were you looking to post and stuff, and were you into that prior to?
So I have literally grown up in a house where like the camera was always out. Like literally, like we are home videos. We've got home videos for everything. Every Christmas.
That'd be so nice to like look back on.
It's so fun.
I love that.
We literally love it. We'll sit down and like obviously it's all like on a VHS and things like that. Like with
on video.
Yeah, and my son is just like, what the heck is this like massive camera? So yeah, so we just grew up like every Christmas, every birthday it would be like, you know, camera would be on like, tell camera how old you are and what you've had for your birthday, and we just loved it. Like me and my sister particularly, there's 3 of us that grew up together, but me and my kind of second sister, we loved it. Like we just loved the camera. Like, and when I was younger, I was a drama girl. Like I was the one on the stage doing all that. Like I've always loved, like, I don't know what it is, like performing or something, I don't know. So when it came to kind of like when we were getting older, it was in the era of like, you know, YouTubers, like when they were in their complete prime. And I remember one day I just started my marketing business and I'd bought like what do you call it, like a light, you know, like the
like a ring light.
Yeah, but one that goes on your phone.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of them. And I remember like I was literally 20 when this happened, and I was walking around with my sister and we were just like, hey YouTube, like just messing about, right? And literally we were like, I like this, like, do you know what I mean? So then we went on holiday that week and we just vlogged it. And when I tell you we vlogged it, it was not vlogged in, like it was not vlogging, it was literally just like us messing about, like completely. But we posted it and like we actually got really good sort of like response, which in Wales, sorry to say, like people don't generally love it when people do different things, you know what I mean? So we were like expecting like what the heck are these people doing, but people just loved it. And then we just started doing it and it literally got us through COVID, like because we were all at home, all we were doing was like creating videos. So then when I had Sol, obviously I just moved out as well, I was back to being lonely because I was just, you know, we weren't living, you know, with my family anymore and it was just me and the baby. I just picked up the camera and just started doing what I was enjoying, do you know what I mean? And it just kind of came from there really, like sharing. And
I follow your sister Fionn from like just sports and everything.
Yeah.
And she also I obviously noticed that she obviously is very present on social media and posts obviously days in the life and stuff like that. So that's quite interesting that you both have like a successful following but are in completely different paths, if that makes sense.
And it started with like our little family YouTube channel, like my mum was in on it, like my dad, like we'd all just vlog our weeks, like, and like we just loved it, and that kind of gave us like, you know, the editing capabilities and seeing what we enjoyed without any pressure, do you know what I mean? Because it was literally just us. But yeah, she is now kind of, you know, decided to take that route like alongside her football, and then I just was having kids and I was like, great, like
we're living a different
let's
life.
just tell everybody how I'm getting on, like
my sister's been from Wales this weekend and I'm changing nappies.
yeah, literally, like we are the polar opposite, like
your success in your own
so
ways.
different, like it's crazy.
What about you, Elle?
I think when I moved to Wales, I think I had like 200 followers.
Wow, really?
Literally nothing. Obviously, I shared whatever when I lived in London, but that was literally for like friends at boarding school or like family and stuff. And then literally going along from the whole isolation thing and being away from family, I just started posting stuff about me and Piper. So I can update everyone back home and like people that were just not near, but also because we were so isolated, and I love like kids fashion. So I was like, oh, what outfits could I put Piper in today? And like things like that. And then I think because we were such a young family, because of the nature of Kieran's job as well, I think people just started to gather like an interest in what we were up to as a really young family, and like in the line of work that he's in, it can be quite interesting and our life isn't like the normal dynamic.
But like, I think, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way like society's going is that people, especially since COVID, are more invested in like, kind of what's real. So obviously like, I think if you're showing a relatable life or like showing this kind of vulnerability side, like you're bringing people into your home and showing them your family, people love to see that, because it's like, yes, you can post a lovely selfie and you look stunning, but also you can have a real life outside of it where you're like, what did I have for breakfast? My house is crazy, my house is messy. Rather than just seeing, I think what social media used to be like, when it was like you only share the perfect picture and that's it, and then nobody knows the 95% of your life that happens outside of that photo, if that makes sense. And now I think with you guys, you're showing actually what life is like being a mum, and then balancing that, and then people are like, I actually really invested in knowing what these guys are up to, and like them showing us what day-to-day looks like.
I think it's like relatable as well, like, and I think in another way I think people can kind of be like, oh, I can see myself doing that, or I can like, I do it. I look at like mums online and I'm like, okay, I love the way she does this, and I love the way she parents like this, and I love where she shops even for her kids. Like, and I think it just gives you, because it's hard. Like when you are literally like, I've just had a newborn now, right? I say just 4 months ago, but
4 months ago, you're lying. You look great.
No, it's blown.
She looks insane.
Oh my gosh,
thank you very much.
I thought, what?
But he's sleeping, touching all the wood
All
in
the
this
woods,
room.
all the woods.
He is starting to sleep, and I'm like, okay, I can feel myself coming back to life.
Fair
But yeah, so
play.
I've just done like all of that newborn thing again, and honestly, the amount of like first time mums that I've just found so much comfort in like everything that I've been going through and sharing, and I just think like that's partly why I started sharing so much about my life. Is I'm like, I was so lonely, and to be frank, clueless when it came to kids, like, and also growing up with girls, having a boy,
then
right?
3 boys.
I was like, how do you even like
Navigate
connect with a boy?
That looks different.
Yeah, do you know what I mean though? But even like playing, like I for a while with Sol was like, okay, so he loves cars and dinosaurs and smashing things together. I'm a girly girl who wants to sit and braid hair. So how do we sort of...
You're going to grow your hair out.
Yeah, it's like, so how am I supposed to do this? And it's just things like that like, I'm like, okay, so like the boy mums just take their kids out all the time and like just walk and outdoors.
True.
And do you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to start doing this. And it's just sort of by sharing my stuff and like the way I'm doing things, I just really hope that it helps like a mum who's like, what bottle do I buy? Or what do I do with my child when they start getting bored, or I want to eat out for dinner. How do I eat out for dinner and like have 3 kids? Like, how do I do that? Like, do you know what I mean? If I can share how I do it,
That sounds hard.
yeah,
It's like little tips and tricks. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice little fidget toy that they can play with.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that. That might make it a bit smoother next
Yeah.
time.
Also that like that it's also showing that side, it's also not easy. It's okay that these things will actually be hard.
100%.
Rather than like, I think, like I said, social media, what it seems like what it was a few years ago, everything had to be picture perfect. Everything had to be, I'm acing mum life and I'm acing life doing this and that, but actually showing the side where, no, it is hard. And if you're struggling, it's really okay to be struggling with it, because this lifestyle change is not easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be honest, that's where I found like my page started to grow.
Yeah, that was my question.
Like,
how did you both notice your following
Yeah,
change?
because I at first was trying to kind of, you know, I was like taking back pictures with like Sol and like, this is what we're doing today and whatever. But like, it doesn't come natural to me. Like, I don't like, yeah, okay, I'll smile for a picture. I've got no issue with that. But I'm so not aesthetic in any way, shape or form. Like, it just doesn't, me and I would love to be. Like, I'm out here seeing some people's Instagram stories and I'm like, that is so pretty to look at. And then I look at mine and I'm like, okay, great.
Like 24/7.
And I literally look at it and I'm like, oh, there's a nappy that I forgot to pick up from this morning in the corner.
But
great.
that's
like
real though, you know? Like, that's probably what people want to connect with.
and that's
just like,
that's where I kind of started seeing like the growth, was when I was like, well, I enjoy making these videos of just vlogs, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoy making that kind of content. And so for me, I think people just kind of connected with that more than they connected with like a picture that just didn't really feel comfortable for me, to be honest. Like, I'm not a pictures kind of gal. So when Reels came, it literally changed my life. So thank you, Instagram.
The queen of Reels.
Instagram, like
queen.
me and Reels.
all of those years of home videos.
I know, they've paid off.
They've paid off. And then for you, Elle, like, obviously with your lifestyle, with obviously say Kieran's job, like you're saying that people will probably invest in your early stage, being like, oh, what's Kieran's girlfriend, wife up to? And then actually now you're bigger than your partner.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, how was that for you? And did you find that connection with people following? Originally, people associating you being Kieran's partner, or and now, or is it different to be like, no, they were following you for you, if that essentially? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a tough one, because like we'll go out sometimes and it'll literally be like, oh, you're Kieran Hardy's wife. Hello.
No, I'm Ellie and I'm my own boss bitch woman.
Honestly, this one time, this has happened once, right? He was out in Ireland. I think it was after a Welsh game. He was out on the town and someone came up to him and said, you're Ellie Hardy's husband.
Yes!
I was like, yes.
Say louder for the people in the back, please.
One time, but
That's a cookie moment, that is.
he called me immediately and he told me, he was like, oh my gosh, you'll never guess what happened, because obviously you're just not used to that. But I was chuffed. I was really chuffed. But yeah, I think it did initially start people taking an interest in him. I think a lot of my Welsh following comes from taking an interest in him and Welsh rugby and like having an insight into that as a whole and our day-to-day life. But yeah, I just share kind of what we get up to as a family. I wouldn't say my consistency, I think, is a thing that I literally butt heads with all the time. Like, I think for me, what does well for me on my platform is some of like the aesthetic stuff.
Yeah, you have something completely different.
So different.
Yeah. Whereas I'm so in my head with just getting a camera. I wish I could be more like, I'm going to set up a camera and I'm going to do my whole day in the life. But I'm so inside my head about that kind of thing that I would probably prefer to do. Okay, I'm here, so I'm going to take a photo. I'm here, so I'm going to take a photo. And I kind of do like carousels and things like that because that's the way that I like showing what we get up to. I wish I was more like Harris.
And I wish I was more like this. Yeah.
But then how would you then kind of support each other in that sense? Because if I looked at social medias, I wouldn't say that you couldn't post a picture of yourself and then you couldn't do a reel. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, I'd be invested in both of them.
Completely different styles.
Yeah.
I wish I was more. I wish I could do more reels and just set up a camera and.
Is that something you want to do? Is that something you feel like you? So what like stops you?
My own head. I think I'm just like I get stressed and quite anxious quite easily.
I think you can get
and I'll be like, I forgot to film that. I forgot to film that part of my day. And the next thing, I've literally got a clip from breakfast in the morning, and I'm like, I haven't done my day.
That is like, so brilliant. True. That is so true. Oh my gosh, I've tried to film a series coming out of Pro Life, and I'm like, I got to about 10 a.m. And I'm like,
and then
it's like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, well, that series is gonna have to wait. And I'm genuine. This is on truth. My series has been on a 4-week hold because I keep forgetting to be like, I forgot to film all day.
Literally,
fair play to you, day in the life is because I fucking forget all the goddamn time.
But I think again though, it's like something that just comes natural to some people. Like me and my sister, like do you remember like when Snapchat was massive?
Yes.
I kid you not, our stories would be about 4 hours long because we would literally just be like filming and videos would be up left, right and centre. Like we've got so many videos that like people will never see of just like me and my sister. Yeah. Because we literally recorded everything, which I think is why when Reels came out, I was like, this is my lane. Like I get it because I film everything because I'm like, I don't know, there's a piece of me that's almost like I love going back to that moment. And I feel like a video gives more than a picture sometimes. Even like, you know, like kids talking and I'm like Saint, right? My second son, he started when he was younger, like he used to just not be able to say certain words, and like now he speaks so clearly and I'm like, oh, and I'll go back to the videos of him speaking like that and I'm like, oh, so nice. Do you know what I mean? And you forget like what they used to say.
But I think moments, like you say, moments are quite special, isn't it? Like my literal phone is full and thousands and thousands keep going and I'm like, I just can't part. I'm like a hoarder for videos.
No, I'm exactly the same.
I just can't part with these videos.
Literally, I'm exactly the same. Like I've got, I think 2 terabyte phone and it's full. I had to delete storage yesterday and I was like, Caris, you've got to like say goodbye to some of these clips. I'm just like, no.
Having therapy to be
I'm like, I've got to have that 2 seconds of Sol just walking, you know what I mean?
So when did you both really notice a difference in your following and then think, I can actually make this as my own kind of business? Do you know what I mean? Like this could be something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when I kind of got past 20,000 followers was when I started to get like things coming in. Will you work on this? Do you want to collaborate on this, that and the other? But at the time that was literally just still me, P. I think Kieran was freshly into the Welsh squad at the time. But I always found like when there was like something upcoming, you'd notice like the following going up, like around my wedding, my following went up and I had a few things. I think TikTok's been a big thing of mine where a few videos have gone viral and then I've seen like an increase in following on my Instagram. But recently I've kind of just coasted around the same kind of number and I'm like, oh, I could be doing more. But at the same time, I'm quite comfortable with where I'm at and how things are going, and I don't like putting too much pressure on myself, especially with the new business coming up. I'm just like, I'm happy where it's at kind of thing, and my little community on there.
That is exciting time. We'll go into your business later. But you mentioned there like how how does that make you feel? Like, do you both think about, now you get into a place where your following's quite a lovely number, but are you thinking in your head, is that enough, if that makes sense? Or because when you're on 20 or even 10k or even like 5k, you're always wanting more in the sense of like in your head. I suppose when you're in my position, being in a profile environment or workplace, you're always thinking, oh, should I be doing more? But now you're sitting there in a position where you're like, I'm chill. Do you know what I mean? If it goes up, it goes up. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Because you're like now thinking, I'm comfortable. Like, I'm like content, not comfortable.
Yeah.
Also, do you know what I mean?
I think the more your following grows, though, like the way I think about it, I'm just like, you're just opening yourself up more so to more people, but then it's not always the nicest kind of people as well. So I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I think I'm the opposite.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, and for me, it was like, oh, when I get to like, I don't know, like 10Ks, or it's like that milestone, isn't it? Where you're like, oh yeah.
Massive.
And then like, you know, you go up, and like for me, it was like, it started to change for me when I hit about 25. I think that's kind of where I started getting like more work opportunities. But I think for me, being someone who's got a bit, like I'm very business minded. So I used to have a business, and I think when your day-to-day life is like running business and you're always like looking at numbers, you know, customers, finances, things like that. For me, I did like used to see things at some point as like numbers game. So like story views, like, because that dictates what jobs you maybe get, you know what I mean?
100%.
Link clicks. And I actually became a little bit like, lost track really of why I started it, because I was a bit like, oh, I need to get to this because then I can do this, and I need to get to this because then I can do this. And I would constantly be watching, and then it would make me second guess then my content, my stories, my everything, because I'd be like, oh, well, if I don't do this, is this gonna happen? Or, do you know what I mean? You get into thingy if you look at the numbers too much. So I just decided, like, at one point, which is quite difficult for me because I still can sometimes go back to like, oh, I haven't grown in months or whatever, you know what I mean? And you get a bit like, not, I can't think what the word would be, but like there'll be something like a wedding or a baby, or someone will, I don't know, post you on their story, and you'll get an influx of followers, and you think this is amazing, and like the buzz that gives you, where like everything is like, your DMs are going off, like your engagement is up, and you're like, this is amazing, and then like 2 weeks later you're like, hello, like where is everyone? Like it can be disheartening. So I just try now to just not look at it, post what I want to post. If it flops, it flops, but at least like I've got the memories, because that is why I started. But do you know what I mean?
How do you both manage that then though? Because if that is happening where it's not always engagement being high and your following's massive, and you may notice a drop, but how do you manage that feeling if you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to get in my own head about this, but I could potentially be? Or is that now from your both experiences, now you're not, it doesn't bother you as much?
No, I guess that.
I was going to say, from you being like business minded, because it has changed from you doing something fun and free and social to now being like, no, this is my business now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can sometimes like get in my head about it. Like even just like this week, and we were talking actually earlier, weren't we, about like when you've had a baby, you can get so in your head anyway. Like things just are different. Like every postpartum experience for me has been different. And this time round, I am questioning everything that I'm doing online. Like I'm like almost a bit like, but who actually cares about what I ate for breakfast, or who actually cares about my morning with the kids?
Some people
I know. But it's quickly how like your mind just goes there. And like it genuinely, like if I think about it too much, it'll get me down. And then that's when I'll just kind of go, okay, do you know what? Remember why you started. Remember why you started. It was never about the numbers. It was never about anything other than sharing your life in the hope that it'll help someone. And then it's really funny, like for me, when that happens, I'll always get like a random DM from someone being like, oh hey, like you actually spoke about this, and I just wanted to let you know that this has happened since, like thank you for sharing. And I'm like, this is what it's about.
It's that reminder,
this is what it's about. Yeah.
Having that reminder of being like, that kind of just bring you back down, is it? To be like, well, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, I just need to calm down. But I suppose it is hard if you're very independent and also very business minded, where those things also matter. And
they do, yeah.
And also you're creating your own, you're in charge of your own brand, really, essentially, aren't you? So like how then, I can understand basically how that is hard. How do your partners either support you or manage kind of like your social media life? Are they like, I'll give you your good angles? Have you had to teach them any? Oh my gosh. Or are they like...
Kieran's like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, they are not.
Like, oh, another one. And he's like...
He is not. Ben, he is not an Instagram husband.
What's Ben's job, sorry?
So he runs his own business. He's in events.
Oh, cool.
So he's not about it. He doesn't mind. Like, he gets it. That's what I do, right? And he also loves it because, like, we'll sit down and watch old YouTube videos or go through my feed. And it's lovely, like, to have that. So he's like, yeah, cool. That's what you do. But, oh my gosh, if I, like... I think maybe that's why pictures didn't work for me, because he was just like, yeah, done. I'm like, you can't just take one.
One and done.
Sorry, you cannot just take one. Do you know what I mean? And I got to check it. No. And he's like, let's just live our life. This is boring. Like but he's not someone on social media himself.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
He'll scroll and he'll watch, but he never posts. I think his last post was like, congratulations for our first son. 5 years ago. Like, you know.
Is that a bad thing technically? Do you know what I mean?
I love it. No, I love it.
Because I think, again, that could be something like a switch off for you if they're not really that heavily invested in their own social media, to be like, when you're not, that can just be like, they don't care enough.
Kieran hates it. Even though he's in the work that he's in, I'm like, gosh, you could get like opportunities maybe outside of work. Like if you did post more, because you have got that platform and that profile. Hates it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe you should post like a photo dump of like the tour that you've just been on. That would be really nice.
People would love it.
Yeah. people might be interested. You know, no, he doesn't like it at all.
But I think in like men's sport, like the profile is automatically higher just because of the men's sport, isn't it? So like they can have a bigger following without having to do anything, because think of like the amount of fans and stuff that come. So, but then I do find a lot of male athletes literally are like, couldn't think of anything worse than taking a selfie or taking a picture or whatever. And you are finding now you've got some, if you use like rugby players as an example, trying to like grow their own social media, doing days in the life and doing things like that. But then you see, like, if you're saying using Kieran as an example, that's like, no, it's not for me.
I think it takes this like specific type of person, but he's just like, he's so introverted and mellow and chilled and like quite shy if you don't know him properly. So he's just like, the thought of doing anything like that, he's just like,
and then you're like, please can you take another picture?
Literally.
How have you both experienced anything, like any negative side of social media? Like how has that been? Because like, again, if I use sport an example, it's ruthless. Like, you know, the amount of comments we would get to be like, you're fucking shit, you can't pass, women shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. I'm like, oh, whatever. Have you, either of you, experienced a negative side of social media?
Yes, I would say so.
I actually haven't.
Oh,
that's
good.
Very lucky.
Document that, because that was a good start.
Yeah, and guys, please, I'm really happy about that. Like, let's not. Do you know what I mean? Let's not.
Be like that, right? To schedule her in.
No, literally, I'm like, I've never experienced that, and that's nice, because I think I don't know if I could be someone who could switch off to it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I had one campaign recently that didn't really land on the right side of Instagram, but the hate wasn't directed at me. It was more sort of like the whole thing. So I can see how it can happen, and obviously, you know, you've experienced it. Like, I know people that have. For me, touch wood, everybody, thank you.
We're all touching.
Thank you, everybody, for being so nice. Yeah, I've actually not, but I do think, as Ali said earlier, the bigger you go, and that is something that does scare me. Even like my podcast, I've paused that. I want to start it again. But it is one of those things where, like, certain topics I'd love to talk about, but I'm thinking, can I? Like, am I opening the door to that? Yeah, and there's like certain things with sharing, you know, your life online, you do open yourself up. And I think it comes really personal then, because that's your life and those are your kids and that's your home and this is you. So I think I can see how it can be so hurtful when people do come for you, because it's like, that's who you are ultimately, isn't it? That they're gunning for. So yeah, and you've experienced
growth,
some of
like
that.
that's why I'm like, I'm kind of happy where I am, because you do open that up. But with me, I haven't got much hate, but there's a anonymous site that maybe we shouldn't say the name of. I'm quite lucky I've got hard skin, and when it comes to someone saying something about myself, I really couldn't give a crap.
You can swear, girl. She doesn't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. No, literally, I've got such hard skin. I do not care what you say about me, but people have come for Noah just because of the colour of her hair. My child's ginger. She's got beautiful hair and it's a whole
so
head
cute.
of
She's
curls.
a real life Annie, like a real life Annie. She's beautiful.
I think you posted a photo of her in your new office with your new, and she was sat in the chair.
She's
oh my
gorgeous.
God, she looks so cute.
She is cute, but like little things like that, like
she can't even defend herself though. So why?
And then it comes into
the whole another episode now. I'll be going off on one.
Literally, but like I can get like, come for me. I don't care. Say what all you want. I really don't care. Don't come for my child because of the colour of her hair. But this is what happened. Like, you have got a platform. People have got opinions. People want to say stuff anonymously. And like, you do open yourself up to people having a say and having a comment. And that's just what comes along with it. But I'd say like, I haven't got much, but it's stuff like that,
that is
upsetting sometimes.
Fucking fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What makes an adult sat there think, I'm going to say something mean about this
Right,
child?
like they're literally
They're a child.
grow up.
They can't even speak properly.
I feel like that's all they can say. So
Yeah.
they're going for my child because she has red hair, and that's what. But yeah,
How do you both have any boundaries in with maybe that in mind to kind of protect yourselves, or is there things that are like off limits? Because if you're quite open with sharing your life, but is there things that you choose not to share?
Yeah, 100%.
we were talking about this on the way out, weren't we?
I think like, and this is where like I'll go on a family holiday, right? And then I'll get people, and obviously I'll vlog it, and I'll get people be like, oh, it looked so perfect. Like, do your kids fight? Yes. They're 2, they're 4, they fight all the time. But I don't choose to show that, because at the end of the day, I always think about, if that was me, would I want somebody putting an argument that I had with my husband up online? Absolutely not. So why would I do that for my kids? Other things as well, like to do with like, you know, I've got certain boundaries with how much I show my kids, what I show them doing, because I just like to think, if that was me, would I want that? Like, and I would want to give like permission for certain things. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do have boundaries when it comes to the kids, and even to a degree, like I'm quite picky with what other people even show of my kids, you know, because ultimately when it's my page, I can control
It's
that.
your child. So
And I can decide what clips I want to show, what I don't want to show, like, you know, how much of them I am actually putting online, I'm very like aware of. And especially as they grow up, like Solomon, my oldest, has started school. So for him, he's got friends now. Like he's starting to have a whole life of his own now. So naturally I'm showing him less, because I want to respect his life and his boundaries, right? So I think, you know, as my kids get older, I think things will definitely change. That's why I've sort of, you know, I always come back to, my page is not about my kids. My page is about my motherhood journey. And I think sometimes those lines get a little bit blurred. But for me, it's like, no, this is not like, you know, a catalogue of my children. This is just my story, and where it's appropriate for me to show them, I will. Where it's not, I don't. Like, that's kind of my...
Exactly the same for me. It's like, I'm such a scaredy cat, but like, I will not feature anything that has anything to do with how my house looks on the outside. School uniform is an absolute no. I don't show Piper nowhere near as much on my page anymore, because she is a 6.5-year-old little girl, and she's got her own little personality. She's her own little girl. I'm not comfortable with sharing as much as I used to, and I want to respect her as well for that as well. But with my page, like, I am starting, I think, to gear off more so than the family image, and just hopefully try and transfer it more so to my life as a mother, but as well as now becoming a businesswoman and showing that side of things as well. Like, I want to show more of that than my kids, if that makes sense.
Do you feel people forget, which I think is something you kind of mentioned there, that people forget that being a mother is you, rather than it's just all about the kids? So like, again, if I use my best friend as an example, she says, people always ask me how the children are, but people always forget to ask me. So like, you're saying that you sharing your motherhood experience, but that doesn't just include the children, that includes how you feel about yourself, how your relationship is, all things like that all can affect what becoming a mother is. And do you think that people sometimes, like you just said, like, forgetting that it's not just about the actual children, it's about, you've started your journey to show you and your life, not just
and ultimately, like, you know, 4 and 5-year-olds aren't out here, or shouldn't be out here, having Instagram. Like, so what is the point in me showing like too much of Solomon? Like, I just don't want to do that. For me, like I've mentioned earlier, like, I just want to be able to help like that mum who's on her own, who's like, what do I do? Like, who do I like get on with, or whatever? Like, to just be the one that's like, you know, if you don't feel yourself after having a baby, hi, me too. Like, that's normal. My kids don't need to be involved in that conversation. It's just about me. You know what I mean? Same with like things that I'm using, like with having a baby, he doesn't necessarily need to feature in a lot of that. It's more, this is what will help you, you know? And I think it is my life. Like, these are my kids, this is my family, and I'm happy to show to a degree some of it. Like, you know, I vlogged yesterday in my morning, like, come and have breakfast with us, like, do you know what I mean? But if it was chaotic, I wouldn't have shown that.
I think I seen one of you know, doing the spinning the plates when you were like,
I loved that edit. That was so good.
How she got the
guys, I did it all by myself, and I was like, is this just so bad?
No, but I think it's because you're just being real. I think if you, the world that social media used to be, and if you're trying to give this false narrative of what your life is like, people will just see that. And I think people love the fact this is real life. Like, you can be a stunning, pretty girl on social media, but but you can also, you're living the real life.
Drowning.
To get everyone else.
Drowning.
Yeah. It's really good. My washing's everywhere. My house is, do you know what I mean?
Literally.
I think that's what people like to connect with.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when you're looking at things from the outside, like you do forget that these are actual people, and I think that's where
100%.
sometimes like the negative side of things, you almost wish like, why are you being like this? Like, this is an actual human being on the end here. We're not just here like performing for anybody. We're just, you know, bringing you in, like, you know what I mean? So please don't disrespect that.
You're choosing to follow me.
Yeah, so like please don't disrespect the way that I raise my children, like, you know what I mean, or what my house looks like at the end of the day. Like, I think that's where people kind of, maybe the lines get a bit blurred over. This is just people, normal people showing their normal life, and if you don't really vibe with that, then
That's okay.
do you know what I mean? That's absolutely fine, but like, don't be disrespectful about it. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, like it is what it is, but I love it and it works. So
like, what do you feel, is there, like, do you find it challenging at times, or do you feel some form of pressure to having that kind of social media presence?
I would say I do. Yeah, I think the pressure to upkeep with content and like continuity, I find it quite, like, some weeks I'm like, I'm literally doing nothing. What have I got to show? Like, I've literally got nothing to show. So it's like keeping up with the consistency of it all. That's where I find like pressure, definitely, because I'm like, who wants to see me just literally doing the nursery drop off and doing this and doing that? And people probably would want to see that because that is normal life. But again, for me, it's like getting out the camera and remember to capture all of that kind of thing. It's the consistency with that.
Yeah, I think from like, you know, a business side of things, if you're not posting, then you're not putting yourself out there for brands to see you. You're not getting the engagement. You're not getting the... So from a business side of things, I know that if I haven't posted in a while, I'm like, oh, is this going to affect me? But then again, I'm also like, reality is I'm 4 months postpartum. I've got 3 kids. My husband's working away. I ain't got time. Like, do you know what I mean? And so there is that sort of like... There is that like moment where you've just got to go pick your battles.
She's glowing and she's 4 months postpartum.
Even after like 1 month, she was glowing. Like she looks amazing.
No, do you know what? I was like, I've got to commit to the skincare here. I was just like seeing me through it, but it helped me. Like I had to, otherwise I was not getting up my pajamas. I was like, I've got to just do something.
What is the biggest reward then? Is it, like, do you have moments where you reflect and think, like you mentioned about the messages you may receive, do you find that I actually love what I'm doing and this is meant for me, and you kind of found your niche where you know, Ellie, you mentioned that you do different things and you've changed, you do ski season and stuff like that, and then now you've like invested so much time into where you're going now, and you're like, no, this is what I'm meant to be doing, if that makes sense.
1000%. And I feel so fortunate that I get to actually bring up my kids up until the age that they can go to crash to where we live. I feel like I've been so lucky to be able to actually just do this around them and do it at home. And it's something that's always changing. It's something that's always different. It keeps my mind busy. And yeah, I just feel fortunate enough that I get to do this around them and around our lifestyle. And with Kieran away so much, like I'm so grateful and thankful that it's just worked out the way it has.
Yeah. I think I'm the same. Like I love doing it. Like, you know, to be able to make something that was a hobby, like your full-time job, I think is the coolest thing. That like, cool. You know, and even for you, like to make something that you enjoyed rugby, like part of your career, like how cool is that? Like to be able to go to work and enjoy yourself, like, do you know what I mean? And so like for me, like I've done the jobs that I'm like counting the clock, like when can I leave, like taking holidays all the time because I'm just like, yeah, I can't bother, like I hate this. Like I've been there, like I've done it, I know what it feels like. So to be able to kind of like do something that I love, that again means that I can do these amazing things with my kids and spend time with them. Like you don't get these years back. So being able to like be home with them every day, like yeah, it brings its challenges, but it's like you don't miss a thing. Like it's lovely.
You both put a question box in your story, didn't you, with questions that some of your audience may want to ask. Do you want to share what they may be? Ask some of them.
Have a look. Okay, I feel like this is actually a good question to do with Instagram as a job, because I feel like lots of people don't understand how you actually make money through Instagram. And this person's asked, like, how do you start making money through Instagram? Because she's trying and she feels a bit lost, right? So I think the first thing is obviously, like, we've talked about like how we reached a certain following, and that's when like the brand's work started coming in at around 20-25k. So that's one way of doing it, where you grow to a certain amount and then they start engaging with you. But I tell my friends to do this all the time. No matter how big your following is, get yourself on affiliate links. Isn't it?
100%.
It is such a good way, like whether you even have like, you know, 1,000 followers or 500, just like getting on like certain affiliate platforms, just sharing what you're wearing or where you're buying things, literally you can make money that way. And it's not massive amounts, like do you know what I mean? It's probably not going to make you a millionaire. I'm just going to put it out there.
But it's a start.
But it'll get you a coffee. Do you know what I mean? It'll get you a coffee.
And how expensive a goddamn coffee
oh
is
my
nowadays.
gosh, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So like that way, like I find is the easiest way. And it doesn't matter how much you've got. Like it literally doesn't.
I think that's
like,
what puts people off, because they think that they need X amount, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't try this, or can't put this up because of this. But I feel like from what a lot of people are saying, that you just have to start.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I used to do before I reached like that following where I could actually kind of make it like more of a full-time job. Affiliate links just
it's the
got
way
me
to start,
by.
1000%.
It got me
Yeah.
by.
And there's like loads of different platforms as well. Like some you can earn by clicks, some you can earn by commission. So and sometimes the clicks work better than commission. So
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So take a look, guys. Literally. We're all going to be out here.
Noted.
Yeah.
Right?
someone just said, how do you find life being married to a rugby player?
But how do you find life? Because knowing what my life was like for years, of like how crazy it is to then think of having to navigate that with having like kids, and then trying to also live your own life too. Because what's different with women's rugby to men's is we work daytime, so we're in like 8 till 5, and then we go home. But I think with the men that you're in camp, they're in like set, like he'll be in all week, right? Or does he come home?
So he always has a day off in the middle of the week.
But would he be staying over in camp like Monday and Tuesday?
So if he's in with Wales, if they're in like full on camp, there will be days that he has to stay overnight.
Yeah.
At the moment, he doesn't have to stay over at all, and
So
then he
it's
will
just daytime
always
training. And then
like
come
this
home.
week he had two days off.
Spoiled.
So, like,
wow, he's lucky.
There's pros and cons. He'll go away for certain amounts of time, and that's really hard. But actually, even with club rugby, his days are so short. He's gone really early in the morning, which is hard because literally the breakfast,
The school run,
getting changed, the school run is all on me. He's nowhere to be seen. But then he's home by 2 or 3, and he can do the pickup, and we've got
That's
all of the
nice.
evening, and I can prepare dinner, and he's
so
there. We can all play in the
nice.
garden, and like there's so many pros and cons to it. Yeah,
And what about like taking the girls to like games and stuff?
it's hard. Especially when they're like super young. Like I think I've been to 1 Ospreys game with the girls all season.
Whoa, really?
Because-
Because it's like it must be hard.
Piper's easy. She's great. Like she is happy to just sit and enjoy, and she's fabulous. It's trying to get a 2-year-old, well, she's now 2, to sit down in a stand is
It's
just
loud,
an
there's
absolute
people
no-go.
everywhere.
There's only so many snacks that you can bring before it's just like, right, we need to escape the situation. 'cause
But I
it's too
suppose
much.
it's hard because for you both as a couple, it'd be so nice to have your children there at his games and stuff. But then also
Absolutely.
the reality of that must be obviously they're really hard.
And having family there helps. Like if Kieran's parents are at the games and like the girls are there, it helps. Sometimes there's a time where they might put a family box together, and then at least the girls have got a space to run around there. And again, that helps. There are ways that can help, but yeah, it's not the calm, exciting, enjoyable game day that you think it would be with children in tow. But
Is that hard for you as a couple? And if sometimes you can't go to the games because you have to stay home with the children and you just have to watch on the TV.
that's it. And that's like
Yeah.
reality a lot of the time, especially if it's like late kickoffs. I'm just like, there's no way. Like, I don't want to put the girls under that stress. Like, they're going to be tired. They're going to want their dinner. I don't want to have to be feeding them dinner on the go. And like,
Yeah.
and do you know what? Actually, I find it quite easy to watch them on the TV more so than in person. Because if we're there watching with the kids, I'm not watching
Do you get
anything
nervous?
that he's doing. I used to, not anymore.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. I literally was like, every time we'd box kick, I'd be like, ah, I can't watch.
I feel
But
you.
now,
I feel you in the same
literally-
position. I'm like, even right.
Literally.
Oh god.
Yeah. But no, like now, it's only
Don't
like,
kick it out. Don't kick it out. Don't kick it out.
literally, or a charge down or anything like that. I'm like, ah. Yeah,
Make my
but
skin crawl, get charged. No.
I know. But there's pros and cons, but yeah, it is pretty amazing what he does.
This one's probably a good one. Do you ever feel like social media makes you feel like a bad mum or that you're not enough? That's quite a deep question.
That is a
to be
deep
honest, isn't it?
question. And how
Which
do
I
you
think
feel?
it can. Like, I was literally talking to somebody this week who, like, because we literally spoke about it earlier before we started recording
Shock.
about my don't eat in a day. Please eat in a day. Please eat in a day. What I eat in a day, right? We talked about that. And honestly, it was all beige.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you can go on social media and you can see these mums who are out here, Pilates in the morning, going for their coffee, loads of friends. Like for a while, I felt like I was maybe doing something wrong because I didn't have a group
Me
of mum
too.
friends. And like, I was
What
like,
is wrong with me?
yeah. And like, you know, people are like, oh, when the thing makes it out the girls group chat and holidays, I'm thinking, I do not have enough friends for a girls holiday or like to go anywhere. And I think that can sometimes make you think, oh gosh, what's wrong with me then? That no one wants to hang out with me. And I think with motherhood particularly, every man and his dog has got opinions with how you raise your kids.
I can imagine.
And what you do. And even with showing your kids online, you know, a lot of people have opinions, strong opinions on that and things, you know. And I think sometimes you can see stuff that definitely can make you question things and make you feel a type of way. But I'm someone that's like, okay, if it's making me feel a type of way that I'm not happy with, then that's not for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think social media should always be quite a positive place, which is why I don't share a lot of the bad things, because I don't want someone to watch one of my videos and think, flipping heck, I feel heavy after that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it can, like, especially like, you know, what we like spoke about earlier with the whole aesthetic, a certain type of way, like you have to look a certain way and act a certain way. Yeah, I think that can be quite dangerous, you know?
I think when you mentioned it earlier around you can't just be anyone, you have to be a certain type of person to be able to do this life. And then like Ellie mentioned, like having tough skin, like if it can be a dangerous kind of slippery slope if you let that affect you too much.
1000%. Yeah. I think it was important, like, this is just an example to go off that question and this topic. Like, I might do some, like recently I've been going through a bit of a gut journey and I don't know what's going on with my gut, and I've had some tests and this, that and the other, and like I'm such an oversharer. I'm just getting to the point, like, should I really start talking about my poo? I'm not sure. But
hey,
like,
pooing happens, girl.
But then again, there's so many people that can tell you, I've been through this. This is what helped me. And that's what the side of social media that I absolutely love. But there's these aesthetic pictures of me making bone broth and doing this. But the other day I was like, it is so important for me to come on and be like, guys, this could be my life for like 2 days and I'm doing really well with this whole anti-inflammatory thing. I'll probably be in McDonald's drive-through like in a few days' time. Like, it's just the reality of being like, yes, you might see these aesthetic pictures. Oh, I've made this, I've made that, and I'm doing all of these wonderful things. But reality is I'm probably not going to be sticking to this. And like, this is just what I'm like and how I am. And it's not always just the aesthetic pictures. Like,
I think it's interesting because when I got diagnosed with endometriosis 2 years ago, and I had never heard of it, and I was like, and then I had all this negative thing with like what having the condition, the consequence of having what the condition was. Like, I was infertile, all these things are up, like my bowel, inflammatory. It never made sense until it made sense then, and I never heard of it up until I got diagnosed. And I was like, I should really share this because I feel like there may be people that are like me that have either no idea what it is or could be affected. And I sat on this post for like 3 days and I was like, I can't share it. It's so vulnerable. I just can't do it. And everyone was like, just fucking share the post. I was like, no, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Yeah. And I shared it and I literally shut my eyes and I put my phone down for like an hour. And then I picked it back up and the response I had was crazy because as much as I was so worried about being so vulnerable about sharing it, like you said, talking about poo is actually really goddamn normal now because so many people struggle yet either don't know where to turn or don't know the answers. And I think similar with you saying with motherhood and stuff, it's such an isolated and vulnerable world where then you see someone on social media talking about, well, this happens to me and this is what I'm going through, and you're like, I'm not crazy, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Or like you're saying that if you use your inflammatory as an example, you try in bone broth, for example, may help someone else try it, or that might work for someone or may not work for somebody else. It's like,
literally,
it's just a kind of way I think this world is going where you're just reminding people that what you're going through, you're not alone, that this is actually could be something that a lot more people are struggling with than what you think.
And it's often the case.
Because I always think, like, whenever it comes to, and listen, there's some things that obviously we've talked about opening yourself up to like so many different things, and that is something like for me, there's, you know, I want to start my podcast. Well, I've recorded a couple of podcast episodes, right? But I'm so scared to actually put them out there because I'm literally thinking, oh, here we go again. Like, I'm literally like, long form, people hear a lot more, right, than what they do in a quick 30-second video. You're putting yourself out there in a different way. And there's like some topics that I do think that are like, okay, that could go one of sort of two ways. But then I kind of come back to, well, that's something that I've gone through 100%. And I'm probably not the only one. 100%. So I've got to take that hit. I'll make myself vulnerable in hope that it'll help one person. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, a lot around this podcast is around the whole why around this was me being vulnerable. Like I had a lot of life experience before launching this podcast that I was like, this could be so useful for someone to listen to, and it is so damn scary to open yourself out there. And everyone's like, oh, are you caught up on like listeners and your audience, or who's your target audience? I'm like, everyone is my target audience, because I could do 5 episodes that are all completely different topics that may not hit anyone, and then that one person could listen to episode 6 and it could be a life-changing topic and an episode that may affect them in that way. And I think asking people to come on and be vulnerable and sharing their stories kind of felt to me that I had a duty to do the same in return. So at the end of season 1, I came on and I just word vomited.
Nice.
And I was like, I was so nervous, I was so scared, but I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I had a duty to do so. Because I was like, I felt, you're all guys come and being vulnerable on my show, so I feel like it's the only right thing to do that in return.
Yeah.
Wow. And then afterwards I was like, what have I done? It's out there. But then the reward from that, we've both mentioned, with having people reach out to you to be like, and it's not about the likes, the comments, it's about the messages, the direct messages that people open up to you saying,
I took something from that.
Yes, 100%. I took so much from that. And then ended up them being vulnerable in return. Like, I've had so many messages of people just then opening up to me, being like, this has happened to me, this was similar. And I'm like, wow. This is why then the positive side
and
of
I always feel it
sharing.
looks different for everyone. So like for me and like Ellie, a lot of our story is around like motherhood, but ultimately that's just life change, right? Yeah. So a big life change happened to me at 21 and I had to navigate it, and it looked like this, it looked like loneliness, it looked like that. You could move country and experience the exact same thing, loneliness, not feeling like you fit in. So it doesn't always have to be the situation itself. It can just be the feelings, and 100%. We all feel the same thing. We all have a level of anxiety, we all have a level of fear of something, putting ourselves out there, or being lonely, or feeling like no one understands. And so it looks different for everyone, you know what I mean? Like, your situation is different. I can't imagine playing rugby. I'm gonna be real. The idea of someone running at me, no thank you.
I don't know why I do it either.
I would be like, take it, you know. But it's like,
so I'm a scrum half. We don't have to tackle much.
Yeah, nice. But that's your life, your story, your journey, and like we can relate to each other because we all go through the same things. But like, you're not out here with 3 kids, just like I'm not out here on a rugby field. Do you know what I'm saying? And thank God. Like,
it is quite funny, isn't it? Because like it's funny when you mentioned earlier about not being aesthetic, or not feeling comfortable taking a picture, or you not feeling comfortable doing a reel or whatever, and I'm like, it's funny how different perspectives change of how we feel about ourselves. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves and how we feel about. Someone could say to you, well, I think you look great, but I don't feel great. But like the world are watching you and thinking, oh, I think you're amazing, I think you're so pretty, and da-da-da. But then the pressure probably comes most from what we put on ourselves.
100%. Yeah.
This is interesting. I'd love to know, is it acceptable to reach out to businesses or brands for potential collab opportunities? I feel like it's a massive taboo and that you have to wait for them, but if you can keep me anonymous. So I would say in the beginning, I was like petrified to reach out. Once my following kind of hit 20,000, I would say, I was like, oh gosh, I'm just going to wait for the opportunities to come in. And a few came in, and some align with you and just some do not whatsoever. But I would say as I've grown, you do get the confidence to reach out to brands that you do love and align with and work with. And I would say if you feel like you are really desperate to work with a brand that you love and you feel really passionate about, then definitely like I feel there is space to reach out. And
I think again,
it's a really common thing nowadays. Like people do it. And actually, obviously I've got a management now who deal with all of my collaborations, but sometimes they will be like, no, actually Ellie, you reach out and like you say how you feel about it all with the brand that you love and that you want to work with. And I think organically it's actually better if you reach out more so than your
someone
management or someone
you,
representing you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I think as well, like if you look at it, like again, from more of a business side, I think a lot of people might think, oh, it's cheeky. Like, do you know what I mean? Being like, oh, can I do this in return for this? But if you think about it, it's like bartering. Like, do you know what I mean? You're just saying, well, I'll do this if you can do this for me, right? And they're ultimately getting marketing. Like they are getting a video or a post or something created for them. They're getting brand awareness. They're getting content created, exposure. Like there's so much that they will benefit from. So I think you've sometimes got to like, because I never did it. And I remember speaking to you and you were like, girl, like this is not you. Do you know what I mean? And you've almost got to think, this isn't me just being like, oh hi, can I like work with you? Like I'd really like to, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, no, like I love your product or I love your brand. And I genuinely think that we could work well together because I know that my audience will also love that. So it's not even about you; it's about them. Do you know what I mean? And them.
You just flip it, but they were the ones reaching out to you. You're just doing it the way around.
Yeah, exactly.
They were the ones being. They don't feel cheeky messaging you. No. Like, hey, can I have this for whatever?
Yeah.
But do you both feel that strongly about working with brands that you actually use and like rather than I think it's obviously ways. There's parts of social media where it's again money driven and people.
Yeah.
Someone's posting trainers. I'm like, I've never ever seen you wear those pet trainers.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's important to you both to be able to promote something that you actually both believe in and like you said, aligns with you.
100, yeah. I think for me, I always just want to be like authentic. And I wonder, like, just for an example, last week I turned down like a cocktail like collaboration. And that great money. And I thought to myself, oh, I could do that because I can think of a video, but I don't drink really. I'm not that girl. So I was like, I don't want to jeopardize my authenticity and just for money and just to sell something. Like I never want to do that. Like everything that I talk about or you know I use, you know what I mean? I genuinely do, because I just think to myself, like, for example, we all love Molly May. We all love Molly May. She could sell me shit and I'd buy it.
Roll, do you know what I mean?
Do you know?
What toilet roll you use?
And Sean as well, like with all the skincare.
Yeah, like I trust these girls, and I kid you not, right? That lash and eyebrow serum that she put us all on is incredible. It's actually changed my life. It has changed my life.
Could be linking this
and the thing is, everyone head to my Instagram. Getting affiliate links. No, but genuinely, and like that's the thing, isn't it? I want people to be able to trust what I say, and I don't want someone to just be like, oh, I bought this. Like that is my biggest fear. If someone bought something that I'd recommended and it was awful, I would be so embarrassed and like, oh my gosh, why have I done that?
But that's
do you know
funny
what I
because
mean?
you're influenced by seeing like Molly May posts a toilet roll, we're buying it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So there is that pressure then that if you're doing that, you're posting that you believe in, like you just said, it's that, not pressure, but it's like, well, I want to make sure that I am using and I know that this product that I'm sharing is actually genuine.
Well, like you'd never recommend something if someone asked you for something, you'd never recommend it if you've never used it before. So like, why would you, do you know what I mean, just do that just for money? Like I can see, listen, money talks, right? I can see why people do it for the money, like I absolutely can, but just for me, like I just would rather just be 100%, you know what I mean, in myself and what I'm doing, because I just think, oh my gosh, imagine the day that I recommended something to someone that I've never used and it like caused a problem no, I just could never.
I'm gonna be honest though. When I first started getting brands coming in initially, and gosh, when was this? What year are we on now? 25.
25,
2021, 2022. I was taking.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, whoa, like, this is really good. Like, wow, this is insane. And funny enough, we were going through like memories. So, you know the memories that pop up on camera. Well, we were going through it the other night, and there was this one ad that I did with Piper on a shoe brand. I'm not going to name any names. They were the most hideous shoes that I put my child in that you've ever seen. I'm talking fur and fluff, like, but that's that. I think that was one of my first ever collaborations, and I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's awful. But over the years, you do like, you're just like, no, I can't be doing that. I've got to just be posting brands
because you've got to also and you've also got to figure that out as well. I think, even like there's some brands that like I won't work with, mainly because from another side of things, like I know that my audience just don't. So for example, vitamins, nobody ever comes to me for vitamins, so
whereas if I don't vitamins, I might, because of I want to be more people that want to see the sport life may benefit from
100
like protein and all that kind of stuff. But then if you were posting that,
people are just like, why is Karis talking about vitamins? Do you know what I mean?
I just ate a bag of hula hoops. I don't want some vitamins, Karis.
Literally. So like, I know that doesn't work for me. So I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, someone even said it this week to me actually, like that they quite like that my page isn't full of ads, and I'm very aware of that too. I don't want it to just look like ads. So I am quite choosy, not just over like, you know, financially if it'll work for me, if the brand aligns me, but also actually is this going to benefit my audience? Because if they don't come to me to find out what vitamins to give their kids or give themselves, there's no point. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's just an ad then and no one wins. You know what I mean? No one wins.
what's next for the both of you? And I wanted to just touch on quickly before we end. You obviously now launching your new business,
baby.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Is that something you mentioned really on the podcast that you've loved the thought of like children's clothing and stuff like that? So is this for you like a big dream and goal that you've always thought of?
Yeah, I've had this idea for years, and I've just never like really believed in myself to do it. I just thought, oh gosh, I don't know anything about business and everything else. Obviously, I'm complete beginner and I'm learning as I go along now, and it is a crazy little world. But I just thought there was something that came over me in December, and I was just like, you know what? I was sat at the high stools in our kitchen with Kieran, and I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
And literally that night, I was designing logos, and I was like, right, I'm doing this. And since then, it's just been like a massive passion project of mine. But yeah, I just love the idea of having a sleepwear brand, just using the highest quality fabrics, like little things like on my little slogan in my bio, it's like made with mums in mind. Like I want those two-way zips, I want the fold over mitts, I want to include feet up until they're walking, then I'm going to take those feet away. I want the quality of the fabrics to be so amazing. Like some of them are really breathable, more like aligned with wearing in summer, but also I want the aesthetics as well. Like I find that in the whole sleepwear market, you've either got obviously your Primarks, your Next, your high streets, and don't get me wrong, there's some really lovely baby grows, but you have also got the crazy neon florals in the tractors and the crocodiles, and some mums want that's okay, but some mums don't want that. And I just thought there's a little gap for really beautifully aesthetic, really high quality premium baby grows. I'm just going to run with it and see what happens.
And obviously your experience, I think what makes that pretty cool is your experience of your motherhood has now created the idea of why you want to design. It's not like as a random dude off the street that's never had kids be like, this is making money. It's like you've created something because you know what will work for you. And like you just said, some mums would love the tractors and the Pokemon stuff, but some don't. So I think then that's pretty cool. Then you're creating something that you know would work for you, of what you would be going to look for. Yeah,
and like some fabrics wash horrendously well. Like some get shrunk within like a few washes.
Oh my gosh, someone replied to my story yesterday being like, oh, you're really trying to get like your money's without the baby girl. I'm like, no, it just shrunk.
Like, some of these baby girls
just shrunk
off the high street,
so bad.
They don't wash well and they don't last long, and that's something that I have vigorously been testing since December. I think I'm on maybe my 5th or 6th batch of samples now, and it costs every time to make these samples, but I just said to Kieran, I'm doing this until these are absolutely perfect, because I don't want to just be putting any willy-nilly out there and selling it as premium. Like these need to be the best, they need to wash well. I've washed them over and over and they are still amazing on Noah. Like she's been my little guinea pig, bless her heart. But
I think again it's something that people can really buy into, because they know you've tried and errored this. Like you said, you've been trying on your own children, and then it's like you aren't in a position where you want to be putting something out there that you wouldn't use yourself.
No, literally. Exactly. So it's been trial and error, but we're nearly there.
That's
so
exciting.
I'm excited.
Anything for you? What's next for you?
Well,
you're 4 months bathroom.
Yeah.
Surviving.
Yeah. We're just taking it day by day right now.
Yeah.
No, definitely like my podcast is something
exciting.
Normal Mum. So I literally launched this last year, my podcast, and a week later I found out I was pregnant with Roman, and I just got smashed in that last pregnancy. It just took everything out of me. And I was like, first trimester, like I'd had like 4 episodes ready to go, and I was like, that's fine, I've got like 4 weeks 4 weeks now to like I kid you not, I was just like, no, I can't do this. I had nothing in me. So
did you launch those 4 episodes? And then
there's more like I don't know how many's out there, but I launched the episodes, and I'd gone 100% in it because I didn't know I was going to be pregnant, like literally like more or less the next day is how it felt. It was crazy. So obviously I was like, priorities, I've got to give to my kids, I've got to give to myself. The podcast has to just peace out for the minute. But we are coming back. Woo! I am reviving it. And just like yourself, when you said you just have a mic and just spill everything, that's literally what my podcast is. It is 30 minutes of me just telling you about that week and how crazy life is with 3 kids.
You say 30 minutes, girl, but then when you get chatting, it just keeps going and going.
Exactly, yeah. So for me, I really just want to put like a lot of my energy into that at the minute. Because like I said earlier, like I want my motherhood journey to just help people. Like I just think about me when I was 21 and I literally peed on that pregnancy stick, and I thought, okay, cool, what do I do now? Like if I can just bring a little, like our little thing is like making you feel less alone and a lot more normal. And that is exactly what I want to do. So who knows when I've recorded another 4.
Woo!
And I'm just like, when do I put them out? I don't know.
Just soon.
Yeah,
Like I'm literally like everything's there. My social media clip, everything is sat in a little folder on my
God, you gotta
desktop.
do it.
But it's just pulling that trigger again.
What is
isn't
it? Genuine. And my brain's exactly the same. I've done so many different business things with Say It How It Is. I've done all of the work. You name it. I've done absolutely everything. But the putting it
Doing
live,
it, yeah.
my brain just goes, whoop,
I know.
whoop. I am so programmed to be like, yes, 100 miles an hour. And then it comes to it, I'm like, ooh.
Literally. I know. So I need to
do it.
Yes.
Yeah, so who knows, in the next couple of weeks, like I am going to do it because that's my baby. So yeah.
One question before we go to our closing tradition. If social media ended tomorrow, what would you be doing, do you think? Where would you be taking yourself? Would you be working in a job that you like previously working in, or would your life now be different because of your lifestyle over the last few years now?
That's interesting.
I'm someone, right, like I would never ever like not work any job.
Yeah.
Like if we need money, I will do anything
Yeah.
to a degree. To a degree, okay? Yeah, something to a degree. But my kids, you know what I mean? Like I'm 100% going to provide for them. However, finding something that's outside of social media, like I've done a lot of different things, like even like hospitality. I could never. If you work in hospitality, honestly, shout out to you. The hours, the abuse.
I was going to say the abuse.
Do you
Someone was
know?
rude to me and I had to play. I'm like,
oh,
excuse me.
I'm like, I didn't even cook this. Why are you coming for me? Like,
I'm just putting it on your goddamn
yeah, I'm
table.
just giving it to you and asking you if you want a napkin or you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, I genuinely, hand on heart, do not know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. Like, seriously. So I think that's what makes me even more grateful to be doing what I'm doing. I don't know. I probably would just go back into marketing, but. Yeah,
you did say you liked to film with video and stuff, so would you be in some sort of like
I might be a video editor.
Who knows?
I could be a video editor.
Yeah, going to
we go.
weddings, being hype girl, filming everything.
Yeah, great. Sign me up. I'll do that.
I don't know. I've had so many. A thing that I think not a lot of people know about me is I've worked since I was 18, and I had jobs up until I met Kieran, and I've done everything. I've got a CV as long as my arm. I think that was just because I got so bored in jobs that I was just constantly on to the next thing. I've got a personal trainer qualification. I've got a ski instructor's license.
You've got a lot of strings.
I worked at ASOS.
I worked at ASOS
Cool.
in the social media team there.
Oh, nice.
Enjoyed it, but just my manager was horrific and just an absolute bully, so that didn't last long. But
You've had a lot of experience
a
with
lot of
different
experience,
things.
and in school I wanted to be a midwife.
Oh,
Up until I
wow.
got to biology and failed biology at A level, and then got told
Who passes
not for
biology,
you.
Amy?
So that was another thing. And then I wanted to be a chef, and I went to London, and that's why I primarily went to London in the first place to do.
No way.
I went to Le Cordon Bleu Cookery School. It lasted 2 months. I had severe anxiety, and that's why I went home and then went on my ski season. So I didn't last long in that. But I've literally done everything.
But that's cool though, because you tried it. And what the worst thing is always thinking to yourself, or what if I tried it? Or what if? But then you've actually done it. So like, I'd rather be in a position where I went for 2 months and I tried it, it just didn't work out, rather than looking back and be like, oh, having regrets to think, oh, what if I did that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
When I met Kieran, I was actually in a job that I loved. Like, finally.
Oh, no way.
I was assistant manager at a boutique boxing gym in Chelsea called Co-Box, and it was the coolest environment. And I would make like acai shakes and protein shakes on the side, and I have got a real interest in like healthy food, and I still do love making food. So maybe something to do with fitness, food, health,
Don't know.
vibes.
You did just launch your own baby grow.
Yeah, but I feel like that I've got the platform now. I feel like to have the confidence to maybe do that. If I didn't have the platform,
okay,
I
fair
don't
enough.
know if I would have been in my own head about having the confidence to do that.
But you have the confidence
But
now.
now I do, yeah.
So if it ended
definitely.
now, would you be like, cool, I could do this?
Definitely. But if I was thinking of what I've done previously and if this didn't pop up into my head, I definitely think that kind of world would suit me next. But yeah.
So we have a closing tradition on the podcast where the previous guest leaves the next guest a question, but they don't know who they're leaving it for. So our last guest is left 2 questions. What painful moment in your life are you grateful for?
Oh,
What? That is so hard.
that's deep.
Like me in my position now, if you told me coming to the end of my injury last year that I was going to like lose my contract and then be leaving international setup in a World Cup year, I'd be like, you fucking what? But then since I've left and made the decision to leave earlier, I'm now in a position where I'm like, I feel so much healthier and happier, and I've gained so much growth from going through something so traumatic. And now that I feel better, I've noticed such a huge positive difference in my life now, like opportunities that I wouldn't yet necessarily have, countries that I've already visited that I wouldn't be able to do if I was still playing for Wales. So as much as there's so much trauma that's come from that, I feel like me as an individual has grown so much from being like, nah, I know what my values are, I know what I want to be associated with, and if that's not aligning with me, then as much as I've gone through it, I'm confident that I'm standing on my own 2 feet now, you know?
Yeah.
That's definitely something for me that...
I think for me, when I was younger, right, this is actually pretty deep when I actually think about it. My family, extended family, was really, really tight. Like, we would literally do everything together. And I remember, like, some things had happened, like, you know, just family dramas, right? It happens to everybody. But, like, I had, like, within that family, like, I loved it. Like, we lived and breathed that unit. Like, my best friends was my family. Like, my life was my family, like, my extended family and everything that was in it. And with all these little dramas that had happened, that, to be honest, I wasn't even in the area when it was all kicking off, but that all went. So then it was left with me, my sisters and my parents. And like, obviously they're all still around, but I don't speak to any of them. And I think that was huge for me, because you always assume that with family, they're always going to be around and no one will ever talk bad about you, or no one will ever leave. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And there's loads of relationships that, like, people have than I see with their families, and I don't have that. But what that kind of taught me was, like, you have to just be so secure in yourself, and you have got to be so intentional about the relationships and the people and the voices that you actually allow into your life, because even the people that are closest to you and the most important to you, they can sham you,
and they go just like that,
and they can disappear overnight. And I think that was really, really hard time, because, like, my closest friends, like literal family that you think, you know, oh my gosh,
with you for life, just easy to go
and like, even like things then that you don't even think are going to be a problem, like weddings and like big occasions in your life, and you're just like, oh my goodness. But for me, like, I think I had to go through that, because I had to kind of figure out, like, okay, who am I? And when I look at everything that I've actually done and the voices that were in my life back then, I probably wouldn't have done half the things that I've done now if I'd have had those voices in my life, because it's a lot of just negativity, a lot of like, but why would you do that? And why would you put yourself out there? Who wants to be doing this? Who wants to be doing that? You know, same for, like, my sister has a professional career. She had the same things. Like, why would you travel? You'll know, why are you traveling all these miles? Are you even going to get there? Like, and at the time you don't realize that, like, how that is so bad. And losing it felt like, you know, the company and everything that came with it, losing it feels like, oh my gosh, like, who have I got?
Vulnerable and scary,
but then when you actually think about it, like, that probably wasn't the most positive thing, and I think that had to go for me to be able to do what I'm doing now and be who I am now.
And feel free to just
and
be yourself.
Feel free, and I think that's built something in me now where I'm like, if I feel a certain type of way about doing something, like, and I feel like that's my conviction and that's what I want to do, I will do it regardless. Obviously, to a degree, I'll ask people what they think, but if I feel like I want to do something, I will do it. And I take everything now with a pinch of salt. I look at everything based on, okay, but where are they at in their life? Because I think everyone can offer opinions. Like we talked about, like, people coming at you for whatever, but where are they in their life? And do I feel like they're the right person to speak to me about certain things? And I think I had to do that for me to be confident in who I am today, to do what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
100%. That comes from that experience, though, no? Like, that, if you hadn't gone through that, then that wouldn't be challenging the way you're thinking.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I do, like, the closest people to me, is and even like my direct family now, I still take everything that they say with a pinch of salt, because, like, you know, do I think they're gonna? Absolutely not. They are my people. Like, my mum, my dad, my sisters, my ride or dies. Like, 1,000%. We're all so close, even closer because of everything that has gone on, right? But I'm still very much, like, aware of where everyone's at in their life and why are you saying this to me? Like, is this right? Do you know what I mean? So I do now analyze, rightly or wrongly, everything that people say about me, tell me what to do, anything like that. Like, because everyone will offer advice, isn't it? Like, but what's the right thing to listen to, isn't it? So yeah, that gave me my core, is how I kind of think about it now.
I'm like going to be 100% honest. I haven't had many painful times over my life, but I think if I were to think of anything, it would come back to being a 22-year-old mother isolated in a country that she literally knows no one, with no help. And I literally had to figure out everything for myself. Granted, my mum did fly back and forth, but I think going through that period of time of feeling isolated and lonely and completely on my own in the same four walls, having complete imposter syndrome and never leaving the house, only with my partner, I think that's shaped me as a person and as a mother today in the journey that I've been on since then. I think coming up to being a mother, I was completely lost. Like I said, I've got a CV the size of my arm. I've been here, there and everywhere. I've never really felt like I had an identity and like knew what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. But I think from having Piper at that age with Kieran freshly into a relationship and literally like we're a year or so down the line and we've got a child together and I don't really know you, but we're living together in a country that...
You're here for the journey now, pal.
Literally. And like not knowing how all that would turn out. But I think that whole moment in my life and at the time has really shaped me as a mother and like given me a purpose into who I am today.
I don't want to go way into the conversation, but it's so difficult because obviously these questions. But I think that you don't realise those things at the time though, right? So those both answers, at that time you're going through it, you just think, what the fuck? How the hell am I going to... I can't see a light at the end of this tunnel. I can't see how I'm going to... It's crazy reflection because like you look back on that and you obviously that you doesn't see what this you is now like. So I just think it's really interesting to see. We just don't realise at the time that these negative or tough things actually would shape us. Because I think we always talk about the good stuff, but it's actually what challenges your personality and who you are and your morals and your values. All those things grow from experiences like this, you know?
Yeah, because I always think like what's meant for you won't pass you by. And I also think that with the negative side of things too, I do think there's some things you have to go through to help build your character or grit. Like, do you know what I mean? 100%. And like, okay, I've still got to do this. I've still got to get up and I've still got to go to work and I've still got to figure out who I am and be a mum and show up. And I do think that, what's meant for you, good or bad. But I do think like you will never be given anything you can't handle as well. Do you know? So I think even with hardships and good things, like you will be fine. Otherwise it wouldn't be on you. Do you know?
Second question, how would you heal yourself?
I'm going to be really cringe and say my family. Yeah.
It's not cringe, girl, if that's what heals you.
No, but that's what every like one says, isn't it? But genuinely, when like shit's hitting the fan,
and have that calming zone.
Just take me to my kids and my husband and put me in our living room. Literally, that is my safe place. Yeah, like I'm such a homebody, and I think it's because that is just such a safe place for me with my little team.
Same for you?
Yeah, literally the same. And a nice hot bath with Epsom salts, maybe.
Oh my God, yes!
A little bit of herbal tea.
Now you're talking.
A little bit of Kardashians.
Or a brew,
And then I'll wake up and I'm fine.
Yeah. And reality TV.
Yeah.
And a chalky digester.
Love that. But that's same for me now. Never before would I thought like home and stuff like that would be my calming thing, be like rugby and being in the gym. And now I'm like, the thought of going home to the dog and a bath.
Yeah.
That's talking dirty to me. I'm telling you now, that is perfect.
That's why my house is all beige. Do you know what I mean? Because I just need calm.
Yeah.
Like I just need to look at something and feel.
Thank you both so much. We have made this episode so long, but it's just because we had so much to talk about.
Double the fun as well, innit? Do you know what I
mean? But thank you so much. Really enjoyed that conversation, and thank you both for being so open and honest with giving an insight into your lives and your experiences and what's kind of grown you, the people you are now. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And remember to keep saying it how it is.